Welcome to Sylvan Lake, the Sylvan Lake Gulls!
Without further delay, Gulls baseball fan, let's welcome the first ever coach in our history, Jason Chatwood.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Sylvan Lake Gulls!
Well, good evening, or yeehaw, or howdy. It's Western night here at Gulls Field at Pegattle Park. Jim Claggett here on FloCollege for another match here between the Sylvan Lake Gulls and the Brooks Bombers. Last night, well, it had a little bit of everything, let me tell you. There was some drama, there was some angst, there was some hot tempers, let's put it that way. There was some issues, I guess. And you know, it happens. I mean, you know, as we look here, and there's the bunt that started this, and a little play over at home plate, and boy, that ignited a fire. As that was the winning run. The Brooks Bombers didn't quite understand that, or didn't get the call. But here we go. This is another one. This is the winning run right here now. Sorry, I had the tying run and the winning run. The winning one was no doubt. It was the tying run that kind of got things stoking the fire sort of thing. So now we have, you know, last night we had a little bit of everything, as I mentioned. They had 12 innings of baseball. We haven't seen that before. A couple of broken bats. That was, we don't really see that too often. 3 home runs, 2 by the Gulls, 1 by the Bombers. Some very good defensive plays and some outstanding pitching on both sides of the ledger. Ty Boudreau in particular, however, in his final game in a Gulls jersey, as the Gulls tied a league record as a team, and they broke the team record for strikeouts, and Ty Boudreau broke the record of the guy who's starting tonight, and that's Josh Tucker. So we'll see what Mr. Tucker has in mind for the Brooks Bombers tonight. And I talked to a few of their players tonight too, and they flushed that game down the toilet and they said, okay, this is a brand new day, let's just keep going. Although the coach said, he said that whole last 2 innings were playing in my head for about till about 4 o'clock in the morning. So anyway, we'll have a special guest, by the way, later on in the game, probably after the 3rd inning. She was out on the field earlier tonight in the opening ceremonies, and she'll be up here in the booth. I'm not sure if I can get her to do some color commentary or some play-by-play, but we'll find out. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. But I'm down here by myself, so we'll have ourselves a good night tonight, I think. And the Gulls looking to make, well, more of a statement than what they did last night. I mean, the Brooks Bombers full marks for keeping that team, keeping this team, I should say, in check for as long as they did. And their starter, Julian Picorni, told me, he says, you know what, I was feeling good in the bullpen, but he says, I got to the mound and he's like, all my energy drained out. He says, so Josh Tucker is the starter tonight, though, for your Sylvan Lake Gulls. And number 30 gets to choose the uniforms, and you can always tell who's pitching when you see the uniforms, or most times you can tell who's pitching. Josh Tucker loves this one. So he's going tonight, and he's going to face, well, somewhat similar lineup to last night. Fischel, Matthews, Altamirano, Snowden, Recker. They were all in the lineup last night, but Liam Kirsch and Lucas Rick, Derry Steyer-Couture, and Tyler Dorn are new to the lineup. So a little change of pace for the Brooks Bombers tonight, and they'll be facing a lefty who, the last time he pitched, he kind of had, at least at home, he had a little bit of a struggle in the first inning, and then he changed what he was doing and had a chat with pitching coach Matt Hape, and came out and shut things down as far as I can recall. So we'll see what Josh Tucker does for himself tonight, facing this lineup of the Brooks Bombers, who probably, as a group, are thinking, you know what, we came so close last night beating the Gulls at home, which is not an easy thing to do. And I think their mind is set on showing that last night was no fluke. And here we are on Western night. And I thought I'd see a lot more cowboy hats here in central Alberta, but no, they're all looking like they're enjoying summertime at the lake is what they're looking at. So good crowd tonight here at Gulls Field up at Gattle Park. So Josh Tucker will be on the mound, as we mentioned, and leading things off will be the right fielder, Ben Fischel, followed by the center fielder, Peyton Matthews, and then the first baseman, Christian Altamirano. So we are ready to go here at Gulls Field up at Gattle Park on a beautiful Friday night. It is Friday, isn't it? Yeah, it's Friday. First pitch has swung on and missed, and we are underway here at Gulls Field. As entertaining as 12 innings of baseball was last night, it might have drained a little bit. And I'm not thinking of myself. I'm thinking of these players. They had to play 12 innings of baseball, folks. This is grounded down to second base. Bryce Hampton over to Bryce Turner. It's Bryce to Bryce. The combination works right there. And 2 pitches and 1 out for Josh Tucker. Has a nice handle there by Hampton over to Turner. And there you go. 1 down.
Center fielder number 2, Peyton Matthews.
Peyton Matthews now playing center field. He was the DH last night. And he's one of the All-Stars, I believe, on the Bombers. Headed to the All-Star game at Okotoks. That pitch misses outside for a ball. And Tucker comes in with the fastball and has Peyton Matthews swinging at air on that one. Evens the count at 1-1. And Josh Tucker, no problem tonight so far. 1-2 the count now. Ron Shuchuk, the crew chief, is behind home plate. Brandon Strachey is over at first. Brad Johnston, the second base umpire, and Ty Pentland. And a strikeout there for Josh Tucker on 4 pitches. He gets Peyton Matthews to sit down. Ty Pentland is the umpire over at third base. He's a young man. You see the replay there. Thank you, Hearthstone Property Management. I want to say Heartland all the time. Anyways, he's from BC, and he's kind of following the crews around. He kind of latches onto a crew and fills in, so that's why we have 4 umpires here tonight. And that's good. Stepping in now is the first baseman, Christian Altamirano, to face the left-hander, Josh Tucker. And that misses outside for a ball. The left fielder, C.J. Snowden, he is on deck. And a called strike there. The count now 1-1. Aiden Macaris, Kyle Lewis, Simon Baker, your outfield. Jaden Flores, Ty Yukamoto on the left side. On the right side, the two Bryces, Hampton and Turner. Junior Garcia behind the plate. And that's fouled out of play. Oh, off the mesh. Good catch there by Jaden Flores, but yeah, it doesn't count. And the DH tonight will be number 11, Brock Tiarina. So there's your lineup. You're on the defensive side as Altamirano gets set to see this next pitch. 1-2 the count on the first baseman. And I'm not sure where that missed, but it did. The count even at 2-2 now, with 2 out here, just underway at Gulls Field at Pegattle Park. The 2-2 pitch on the way and fouled back. I got to keep my eye out now, as last night on a attempted bunt, it came up and into the booth of our in-house announcer, Joe Whitbread, and he made a great catch, barehanded. But as somebody pointed out, it was just a bunt. And they checked to see if Altamirano went on that, and he did not, according to third base umpire Ty Pentland. So a full count here as Tucker's trying to get himself a 3-up, 3-down inning to start things off. And that is ripped into left field by Altamirano for the base hit for the first baseman with 2 out, as he sends that right over the head of shortstop Kai Yukamoto. This will bring up the left fielder, number 4, CJ Snowden. With 2 down, Altamirano, the base runner, over at first. And he scored the bunt, but I'm not sure that he was going to do that with 2 out. Then you never know. If he's that good a bunter and beat it out, a base hit is a base hit. Ooh. 89, and it sounds a lot faster. I know that sounds weird, but it does when he's popping the glove like that. 0-2 the count on CJ Snowden with 2 down and a runner over at first. And Tucker delivers, missing high for ball 1. Just a perfect night for some baseball, folks. And strikeout number 2 on the night for Josh Tucker as he sits down CJ Snowden. So no runs on 1 hit, 1 man left on base. After the top of the first, we are scoreless. Gulls coming to bat.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Tonight's starting pitcher for the Bombers on the hill, warming up now, number 7, Brian Walters.
Well, there is your starting pitcher, Brian Walters, who the last time the Bombers were here before this 2-game set, Brian Walters was the starting pitcher, and he pitched a strong game, but his secret was he threw a lot of off-speed stuff. He's in that high 60s, low 70s on a regular basis. Which really, as we've heard many, many times from the pitchers on the Gulls and some of the batters as well, is that a lot of guys can hit that 92, 94, 95. It's the off-speed stuff. Yukamoto, Flores, Tiarina, the top three. Then Turner, Garcia, Baker, Bryce Hampton, Aiden Macaris, and Kyle Lewis. There's your lineup for the Sylvan Lake Gulls that will be facing this man on the mound, Brian Walters. So leading things off, the young man from Hawaii, that is Kai Yukamoto, who had the hit that drove in the winning run. I guess you can't really call it a hit because it was an error on the shortstop, but he was at the plate when that happened. Let's put it that way. First pitch there is in for a strike. And that catches the inside, so Walters is quickly up 0-2. And that's right off the fist, and the shortstop, Tyler Dorn, makes the play over at first, and Brandon Stockey makes the call. As there you see the replay, Hearthstone Property Management. Thank you so much. And that's one down for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. That'll bring up the third baseman, Jaden Flores. One of 6 All-Stars on the Sylvan Lake Gulls that's headed to Okotoks to take part in the annual game. One of these days, I have a feeling that that game is going to be right here at Gulls Field at Pegattle Park. Maybe next year. I think the wheels are already in motion for that to happen, but that misses up high. 2-0 the count. CJ Snowden, Peyton Matthews, and Ben Fischel are your outfielders from left to right. And that pitch is in for a strike. 2-1 the count. The infield on the left side, Seth Rector at third, Tyler Dorn over at short. On the right side, Darius Steyer Couture is at second, Christian Altamirano over at first, and Liam Kish is behind the plate. And this is down the right field line, and that's going to drop in as Jaden Flores gets himself a base hit. And throwing behind the runner was the right fielder, Ben Fischel, and then Altamirano gave the little fake like the ball went past him. They did it last night a couple of times too. So as Flores makes the turn, and they threw behind him. Usually that ends up with a guy going to second, but it was too short a throw. Flores didn't have time to make the choice to go to second. That's right back up the middle as Brock Tiarina sends Jaden Flores over to third with the base hit. So back-to-back singles for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, has base runners on the corners with one down, as that was right back up the middle, and Flores with the play right in front of him could see where the ball was, and he easily made it over to third base. And I asked Brock Tiarina if you remember a few games back, him and Noah Connings, the center fielder at the time, had a little collision out in left center, and Brock had injured his left leg, but he said, no, it's all good now. It's all good. And that is ripped down into the corner in left field, and that is going to score a run. And everybody moves up. It has Bryce Turner with a double, knocks in a run. And the Gulls are right on the money right now, as they've had 3 hits in a row here. And that's going to prompt a meeting with Liam Kish and his pitcher Brian Walters, as Junior Garcia waits at the plate. So 1-0 Gulls lead it here in the bottom of the first. A single by Flores, a single by Tiarina, and then a double by Turner, knocking in Flores from third. And that'll bring up Junior Garcia with one down. And runners on second and third. First pitch to Garcia is in for a ball. And that gets fouled out of play and out of the stadium. Nowhere near the truck, so I didn't have to warn Calvin and Mitch over there. That time I saw it, guys. Simon Baker is on deck. The 1-1 pitch misses outside. Brian Walters on the mound for the Brooks Bombers. That's fouled back against the mesh. The count even now at 2-2. And as I mentioned, we have a special guest coming up here at the end of the third, or maybe even the top of the third. Her name is Morgan Emery. And some of the things that this young lady has done in her short time here on this earth is quite impressive. I'll go through all of this at some point here, but it's impressive. It's very impressive. And Garcia hits this hard over to short, and Tyler Dorn up with it and makes the long throw, but an RBI for Junior Garcia as Brock Tiarina scores easily from third base on the throw by Tyler Dorn for the second out of the inning. And Bryce Turner had nowhere to go on that play, so he stays at second. But the Gulls have got 2 runs now here in the first inning as they've got up on the right foot. Simon Baker now steps in. He saw a little bit of action last night with the 12-inning game. Lots of guys saw some action. Lots of substituting going on both sides. A little action already in the Brooks bullpen. There we go. That's Lucas Mahoney warming up. And a good pitch there by Walters to put Simon Baker in a hole, 0-2. With 2 down and our base runner in scoring position in Bryce Turner. And that was too close to look at and close enough for home plate umpire Ron Shuchuk to ring him up. So 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 man left on base. The Gulls with a 2-0 lead after 1 complete. Brooks coming to bat.
Have you ever wondered if there's one thing that connects people from across our province? Something that connects the coffee shop to the spray park, or the brewery to the rodeo, the campground to the sports field, the friend next door with your family in the next town, the dealership with the ice cream shop. It's pretty amazing when you think about how it's all connected, because it truly is. And it's all we think about, so you don't have to.
Welcome back to Gulls Field at Pegattle Park. Top half of the second inning as the Brooks Bombers come to bat. They are trailing 2-0 here as the Gulls got off to a good start here in their bottom half of the first inning. So Liam Kish will lead things off for the Brooks Bombers. Seth Recker and then Lucas Rick are the next batters on the schedule. And the first pitch to Kirsch, called strike. Josh Tucker on the mound to start this game for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And that is well hit, but into the gap in left field and tracked down by that left fielder. That would be Aiden Macaris, who was sporting the kerchief around his neck and the cowboy hat and the shades. He looked all the part of a cowboy tonight in the dressing room, but now he's all the part of a left fielder. So he makes the grab out and left for the first out. And that'll be Seth Recker stepping in now to face Josh Tucker. And that's fouled back. That might have ticked somebody, either Junior Garcia or home plate umpire Ron Shuchuk. One down here in the top half of the second. That's fouled into the Brooks bullpen. Everybody was paying attention, so nobody had to scramble to get out of the way of that. 0-2 the count on the third baseman Recker. And this is out to Macaris again in left field, and he takes a few steps in and makes the second out of the inning. And the second out of the inning for him. Busy night already. Good play there by Aiden. Thank you for the replay. Once again, Hearthstone Property Management, the people responsible for those replays. Well, they sponsor the replays, to be technical. This brings up the designated hitter, Lucas Rick. With two down in the top half of the second. And Tucker comes inside with that pitch at 87 for a strike. Just a slight breeze. Looks like it's coming just about from right field. Maybe even left field. It kind of swirls a bit around here. My partner, Cale Clark, he's usually spot on when divining as to what direction the wind is coming from. Me, I just say, okay, whatever. I'll take your word for it. 2-2 the count to Lucas Rick. And a swing and a miss, and strikeout number 3 on the night for Josh Tucker brings the inning to a close. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on base. 2-0 Gulls lead. They come to bat in the bottom of the second.
Hey baseball fans, make sure to stay up to date with your favorite teams across the league by subscribing to the WCBL YouTube channel right now. We have tons of free coverage for you over there, including daily highlights, full archived game broadcasts, daily game day previews, plus 2 weekly shows including the WCBL Report with myself and Joe McFarland every Wednesday, and also the WCBL Game of the Week pregame show leading right up to game time every Thursday night. It's all in one spot, the WCBL YouTube channel. Subscribe today.
Inning number 2 for the starting pitcher, Brian Walters. He got a rude welcoming to the game. 2 runs by the Gulls on 3 hits. They have a 2-0 lead as we go into the bottom half of the second here. Bryce Hampton, Aiden Macaris, and Kyle Lewis are the scheduled batters here to face Brian Walters. And that first pitch is in for a strike. Hampton playing second base tonight. We had a few guys at second base. Bryce Hampton, one of them. Rowan O'Connor has been another. Jaden Flores has been known to grab that spot every so often. That misses outside. 2-1 the count now. And that's sent right back up the middle, but a good play there by Tyler Dorn as he makes the move over to his left and makes the throw across the diamond for the first out, getting Hampton. Some good speed, some good hands. And a good throw there by Tyler Dorn.
Now batting, the left fielder and WCBL All-Star, number 24, Aiden
This will bring up their left fielder, Aiden Macaris. Another one of the All-Stars that are headed from the Gulls to Okotoks for the game, which is next Saturday. I just had to check the schedule there because I wasn't sure. I was going to say Sunday, but no, it's next Saturday. 1-1 the count on Macaris. That's fouled back. Kyle Lewis is the hitter on deck. That misses inside to even the count. 2-2 now on the Gulls left fielder. In tight, but a ball. Count now full with 1 down. Gulls plating 2 runs in the bottom half of the first to take a 2-0 lead. And Macaris goes after that high pitch, and he sends it high to left field. But CJ Snowden has room, gets a glove on it, and makes the grab. As you can see, he covered a lot of ground and kept an eye on the ball the whole time. And that's the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Kyle Lewis, the center fielder tonight for the Sylvan Lake Gulls.
the center fielder, number 42.
Young man from Lubbock, Texas. And I talked to a few of the guys from Texas, and they all said family and friends are safe and sound. The floodwaters are quite a ways away from where they live or where they grew up. And but their hearts are with their friends and relatives and fellow Texans through that terrible tragedy of the floodwaters that have ravaged that area of Texas. 1-2 the count on Kyle Lewis. With 2 down here in the bottom of half of the second inning. And Lewis gives this a ride, but CJ Snowden is there and makes the grab. For the third out of the inning, the Gulls go up 3 down, 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. 2 complete, 2-0 Sylvan Lake. Brooks coming to bat. Another look at that wonderful crowd. And you know what sets this whole thing up? You got the grass, you got all the different colors, the blankets and the outfits and everything else. Those 3 Ks up on the wall, just love seeing that. But the K-Man back again. Different one, but you know, Ks are Ks, right? It looks awesome. I love seeing that. This is the second baseman, Derry Steyert-Couture, facing Josh Tucker here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Gulls with a 2-0 lead. And Josh Tucker, so far so good. Giving up just the 1 hit. He's got 3 strikeouts. And he seems to be on target tonight. All 3 of those strikeouts are strikeout swinging as you look at the Ks, and they are in the right direction. There we are. Thanks, guys. There you are. If there's backwards K, that means he was struck out looking, for those that didn't know. And the count now 2-2 on Steyert-Couture. With the shortstop Tyler Dorn on deck. And that's fouled back. So the 2-2 count on the second baseman. Tucker inside, and a called 3rd strike. So there goes that K number 4 will go up on the wall, but it'll go up backwards. I should start writing them backwards, although I don't know if I can. My writing's not good, and at the best of times, trying to do it backwards is like getting blood from a stone. 4 strikeouts on the evening for Josh Tucker, and that'll bring up the shortstop, the number 9 hitter for the Brooks Bombers. This is Tyler Dorn, who's made some good plays over at short already tonight. He squares to bunt, but lets that one go for a ball. And that is skied out of play. 1-1 the count now on Tyler Dorn. Top of the order, Ben Fischel. He is in the on-deck circle. We are just underway here. Top of the 3rd inning at Gulls Field at Pegattle Park. Jim Claggett here, flying solo, but I do have a guest who is, like, I've been going through her resume. Oh my goodness. What this woman has done in a short period of time is absolutely stunning. This is right up the elevator shaft, and shortstop Tai Yukamoto settles underneath it and makes the grab over at short. It took forever for that ball to come down, but it did finally, eventually. So that'll bring up the top of the order, Ben Fischel, who grounded to second to start the game off for the Bombers. As Josh Tucker, 37 pitches to his record right now. And there's surprisingly or not surprisingly, I should say, no action in the bullpen. And why would you? He's pretty much in control, knock on wood, as I did. I probably should knock up here. And nice pitch inside as he fires that past Ben Fischel. Peyton Matthews, the center fielder. He was the designated hitter last night. And he's on deck, waiting to see what his teammate Fisher will do. That misses outside for a ball. Three and one the count on Fischel, with 2 down here in the top half of the 3rd inning. And that is grounded foul. The count now full. You can just hear the buzz of the crowd tonight. They're excited here. Friday night, baseball, it's not raining. That's fouled back. The count remains 3-2. The attendance has been very steady here at Gulls Field since day one. And if you remember, we started during the COVID, and we were only allowed 300 people, and then I think it moved to 600 or 700. And a called 3rd strike. Another backwards K there for Josh Tucker as he brings the inning to a close. No runs on no hits. Nobody left on base. We are through 2.5. Gulls coming to bat. Welcome back to Gulls Field at the Gattle Park. Bottom half of the 3rd inning, Gulls with a 2-0 lead. Jim Claggett here. I was flying solo, but now I have a co-pilot.
Hi.
And here we go, Morgan Emery. Morgan, I'm just going to quickly run through this because this is amazing. Okay.
Right.
Crowned Miss Queen Alberta in 2024. Very first pageant appearance. So very good. You're 1 for 1, right? Went on to win Miss Personality Western Canada. Holds a bachelor degree in criminal justice and psychology from Mount Royal University. I'm just going to keep an eye on the game too. Tai Yukamoto is leading things off here, by the way, for the Gulls. I might get through the whole lineup before I get through this. So founded the Cowgirlin' Kind of Way. It's your personal brand, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Started the nonprofit Persistence Haven, which supports people with invisible disabilities using equine therapy.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
my head's blowing away already. So 0-2 the count on Yukamoto as we're trying to multitask here. Only my wife can do that. This is skied over towards third base, and Seth Rector settles down underneath that and makes the first out of the inning. I still have more on the resume. So because I got to go through this. People have to understand. Now, you led the Crown Alberta Tour, traveling over 100,000 kilometers through 4 different provinces and down into Montana to perform, or to promote your platforms, I should say.
Yes,
A Team Canada cheerleader for a few years, took part in humanitarian efforts in Costa Rica, Cambodia, and Peru, achieved the gold-level Duke of Edinburgh Award at age 17, and, geez, very active in community roles. Where do you find the time to do that? As a coach, mentor, and advocate for sports, dance, rodeo, mental health, and you're of Métis heritage, the Heron Bear Clan?
The Huron.
Huron Bear. Okay, they've got heron here, and I think that's a bird.
Hey.
Okay, but you know what? It is Huron. So there we go. Icelandic roots as well. So that's an interesting mix on Grandma's side. So there you go. I can't ask anything else other than just read this and go, how did you find the time to get all of this done?
It came with lots of dedication and focus. I decided at a young age with struggling with school and with some of my academics that really for me it was either I decided. It was what I wanted to do and the difference I wanted to make. And there was various adults and mentors who often were, you know, are you biting off more than you can chew? Can you actually do this? You know, is this something you can pursue? And for me, the second I was told I couldn't, there was no way that I wasn't going to. Some would call me stubborn. I say it's persistent. That's why I've named my nonprofit Persistence Haven, because for me, everybody goes through some kind of struggle or challenge. You don't have to be disabled to be somebody who's gone through something, and you never know what somebody's going through, what somebody's story is. And I truly feel like everybody should have a fair shot and have equal opportunity. And for some people, you know, you don't have to have something that screams, hey, I'm at a disadvantage, you know, and for some people it's like myself, you would never be able to tell that there's some cognitive disabilities for myself and something I struggled with.
Oh, okay.
So even though those things are there for me, I decided to not let them restrict me.
You keep talking. I'm just going to keep watching some baseball and listen to you do it.
We're going to multitask too.
Yeah, well, you'll do it way better than I will, given your resume. So we're going to stay on this. As the inning is over now, the Gulls go down, 3 up, 3 down, 2-0 Sylvan Lake leading as we head to the top of the 4th. And Morgan, you talked about your persistence, your program there, equine therapy. You got to give me an idea of what that means.
Absolutely. So equine therapy, a lot of people, you know, we love our dogs, we love our pets we have at home. But when we're able to connect with a horse, a lot of you can walk up to a horse and if they want to, they can take you out at the knees. That is your energy. You can walk up to one, and if you're calm or, you know, you're having a bad day, they can sense that. Even the craziest, we call them rankest horses, so the ones that just are unpredictable, you can walk up to them and, you know, if you've had a bad day and you meet their energy, they can read you. So for people who might have trauma or past experiences where they find it hard to trust or open up to somebody or just feel like they don't have anyone to talk to, walking up to an animal that could bulldoze you over, that, you know, just puts its head down, all of a sudden you've made this connection. And that is so healing. Horses can match your heart rate. They truly are a gift. And I found a lot of passion for horses. They were truly something that's like saved me when I felt that it was like too tough in COVID, because I graduated high school in 2020. All I had was horses. So that's what I resorted to. Rather than graduation, I was starting university. Nothing in my life stopped, but I was at home. And my only scapegoat was horses. And I've always had a true passion for them, training, working with them. I've done on my tour, I was with both the World Professional Chuck Wagon Tour and the Canadian Pro Chuck Wagon Tour.
Really?
Yeah, and so they've always been my escape, where I go to really be myself. And you can be whoever you are, however you come to a horse, and they'll meet you where you're at, and that's a partnership. You trust them, they'll trust you.
Oh, okay, well, now I got to ask you a little bit about the horses in a second here. We're going to get some game action here, and this is well hit to right field, and right at the wall is Simon Baker, who uses that 6'3", 6'4" frame of his to make the play out in deep right field. He was right up against the wall, boom, caught it, robbed a home run from Peyton Matthews. So 1 down here in the top half of the 4th inning. So Morgan, I got it. Now, do you refer to yourself as a horse whisperer?
I wouldn't necessarily. I'm a horse whisperer. No.
You just know horses.
Yeah.
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 Okay. And now you were with the Chuck Wagons.
I was, yes.
Okay. Now I have a connection to Chuck Wagon racing.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather raced pony chuck wagons, started the Stampede in Morris, Manitoba.
Wow.
Cliff Claggett is his name.
Okay.
And he's in the Chuck Wagon Hall of Fame racing, so I have a little connection with chuck wagons. But what do you like about? Do you like the rodeo scene, and what is it about that you really like?
For me, you get all walks of life from all across the world. Everybody comes together. You're bringing communities of all, like every walk of life. Everybody comes to one place to not only appreciate a community, but also a sport, but also the equine discipline. That goes right back to our heritage. That is our horses, how they helped us when, we use them to farm, and we still do. We're celebrating those traditions. And for somebody who has been born and raised in Calgary, now living in Sylvan, that's something that I hold very deep into my roots and true to my personality, and something I have great appreciation for. And the athletes, the people behind the barns, they're only so much without those animals and without those horses. And for many of them, and for myself, it's a livelihood, right? So
it's a way of life.
It truly is.
Yeah,
Truly is.
It really is. And to celebrate it tonight here on Western Night here, how do you see the culture growing in Western Canada, or is it kind of shrinking maybe? I don't know.
It definitely, you know what, there's always going to be the true Western roots. You see it all outside of the city limits, and you see it inside the city limits. It used to be if you showed up to school in your dirty work jeans and your poop kickers, if you will, it was...
Your boot kickers.
Yeah.
I know what word you were trying to put in front of that.
It was now country's cool, and it's the music, and it's definitely, for some people, it's everything, and it's tradition, and it's home, right? And as much as it, you see variations of it, especially at the Calgary Stampede, everybody switches over to their cowboy boots for a week. For some it's every day, for some days it's a week, but it's something that brings everybody together, and it's crazy. It's a pair of boots.
There you go. Okay, we're going to catch up a little bit on the baseball. Liam Kirsch is in to face Josh Tucker. The Bombers are mounting a little bit of a comeback here with one down. They've got base runners on first and second with Kirsch at bat. 2-0 Gulls lead it here. My guest is Morgan Emery. And Morgan, I'm going to have you touch on this in a second here, as that pitch from Tucker is off the glove of Bryce Hampton, as he keeps it from going out into right field and probably scoring a run. But a good effort there by Bryce Hampton as he leaves his feet and just about makes the catch, but not quite. But that would have been interesting, because he would have doubled off the base runner over at first in CJ Snowden easily, because he was way off the bag, thinking that was going to go through. So good effort by Bryce Hampton. Now I'm going to ask you this question here with regards to the cowgirlin' kind of way. That's your brand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Brand as in branding cattle? No.
No, not quite.
Not quite.
So when I was beginning with my platform after achieving Miss Queen Alberta, there was a need for who was Morgan. I often got that question, who is Morgan, what does she represent? And for me, I'm somebody where with cheerleading, and then there is the advocacy side, and then there's the horses. For me, I never knew, and the best way to say, well, it's Morgan. And so what does Morgan mean? Well, it's a cowgirling kind of wave. For you hear cowboy and all these different, if you will, mill terms and things like that. But what does it mean to be cowgirl? It means to be persistent, to work hard, and there we go.
Yeah. you can do the color commentary if you want, Morgan.
Well, hey, it's right in front of me.
It's right in front
I got a
of you,
little distracted myself.
Let's just watch baseball, right?
Well, hey, that's what.
No, you've got a hell of a backstory here, and I think we definitely need to take that into account here. So Josh Tucker fielding that hit right back to the mound to get the base runner from third. And that's the second out of the inning here, as Lewis Rick, the designated hitter, steps in to face Josh Tucker, trying to get out of a bases loaded jam here in the top half of the fourth inning. So your brand, how much work did you have to put in to identify what your brand was and then present it in a way that you go, yes, that says me?
So for me, it was who is Morgan, and being a personality pageants queen, it's all about who you are. It has nothing to do with necessarily how you would see pageantry to stereotypically be, because that isn't me. at all. It's really about who you are in the community, what you believe in, and the difference that you want to set out to make. And for me, it was, let's look at what a pair of cowboy boots and some horses means, right? There we go. And what being Western really is, because it's so much more than just cowboy boots and horses and cattle and country music, really. And for me, it was, what is the personal branding side of this?
Okay, so you've had a busy life. Do you get some downtime, and what do you do in that downtime of like 30 seconds every day?
I come and watch baseball.
You come and watch baseball, that's right. So you're a baseball fan.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but now we've got some images here of you, and you can comment on this. Calvin, can we bring those up right now, or have you got those handy?
There you go.
So this is your Miss Queen
Alberta.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And now here you are talking to a young girl there. Do you get a lot of interaction with the youngsters?
As much as I can, but you know, it's never enough. I don't wear this crown or the sash or really any of this was ever for a selfish source. It's always been for the people around me. Because when I'm to their level and I'm with these individuals, then I'm able to show them the sky's the limit. You truly decide what you are capable of and what your dream is.
Okay, that's great. You know, did you ever think when you were younger, and not like you're an old woman right now, it's like, wait a minute, Jim, back up a little bit, casually tiptoe through this minefield here. But when you were a young kid, say 10 or 12, did you have a feeling that you were destined for bigger and better things?
At 10 years old, I had no idea what tomorrow was going to bring. I just knew that I wanted to pass the tests that I had in class because school is always so challenging for me with my learning disabilities.
Okay.
So for me, it was, what is the first thing in front of me, and what do I have to do to get to tomorrow, and how am I going to be successful? Because I never wanted to close a door. I always wanted to make sure all of them were open. That's why for me, when COVID hit, it was, I'm going to power through university. I'm going to keep pushing, and I'm going to do all these things to help open that door. And that's what pageantry did for me. Was I saw the opportunity after working with these horses through COVID and wanting to do more with it and wanting to have a legacy project, and that's what the Haven is. But of course, nowadays, where there is a nonprofit, there needs to be a corporate. So with that, that's also where the cowgirling kind of way came in. So they go hand in hand. One is a little bit more me and one is more the community, but of course one doesn't go without the other.
That's right, one does not go without the other, absolutely. Well, we are into the bottom half of the fourth inning, leading things off here for the Sylvan Lake Gulls will be the first baseman, Bryce Turner, and he gives this a ride out the left field, but the left fielder, C.J. Snowden, has had a busy night tonight, makes the grab on that one for the first out here in the top half of the fourth inning. My guest here is Morgan Emery. Morgan, is there something else? I mean, you've got a huge plate. And then there's maybe a little bit of room there for something else, but is there something else that you say, okay, I've done this other stuff, there's one more thing that I just absolutely have to get accomplished before I pack it in as retirement?
Well, I'm a long way away from that.
I know you are.
Who knows what those dreams are, but I am on top of the things there. I've declared a master's in criminal justice at Bellevue University the States. So I'm going to be doing that as well. I've started a new position in our justice system in rural Alberta here as well. Of course, having baseball during the summer, and who knows what's to come. Definitely for me, it's been 2 years since I had my first crown, so it's been a process, and I see in the future, and my desire is to have land out in the central Alberta area near Sylvan, where I'm rescuing horses and people are able to come and visit the Haven. So in time, through my justice work, community work, that is my legacy, that's my project. I want to be able to leave that to whoever and let that be a community resource for central Alberta.
Okay.
For everyone to enjoy, really.
Now this is a dangerous question for me to ask, but
let's hear it.
I spent 40 plus years working in the media. I've asked a lot of dangerous questions, and I'm still around to talk about it. Beauty pageants.
Yes, sir.
That's the name that we all grew up with, kind of thing. And it used to be the bathing suits and the talent and you answer a question. They've come an awful long way from that point, have they not? And for the better, I would think.
Yes, absolutely. For me, it was exactly that. I was actually working in a Western boutique in Calgary about 2 years ago when I was approached by one of the directors who works with personality pageants. And they were just talking to me, and I was like, oh, hey, well, you know, there's a girl who just bought this outfit, and she's doing a pageant. You said you're doing the same. Don't want you guys to wear the same thing. Got talking, and she said, you should come do this. I stood up and I looked at her. I'm in boots with my dirty jeans, and I was like, do you realize who you're talking to? I was like, no way. That's not me. I grew up playing hockey and baseball, rugby. That was never something I ever saw myself doing. Sure, there you go. Maybe I was a dancer, but never in a million years did I think. But then once I got into looking into it, it's the platform. It's truly who you are. There's a very small portion of it that's maybe you're on stage where you have a gown and stuff, but truly that is your etiquette, that's your poise, how you present yourself to the community, who you are when you're representing an organization bigger than yourself and a community bigger than yourself. It's kind of just that aspect of it. But yes, there are some competitions that still are centered around what you would think is a beauty pageant. Absolutely. But a lot of it has shifted away from that, and it's a lot more about your resume.
That's, you know what, I kind of expected that kind of answer, but I wasn't expected the depth of that answer from you. But I should, in the 5 or 7 minutes that we've been talking, I should know better that you're going to give me an answer that is going to resonate with everybody. And Simon Baker is going to resonate with that ball off the wall. And a 2-out double for the Gulls right fielder. And Simon Baker, as he keeps this inning alive for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Well hit ball there by Simon. He's had an adventure over the last inning or so, making the catch out against the wall and then hits a ball off the wall. So, so now you played some hockey.
Yes, sir.
What position? Defense?
Yeah.
I kind of figured. It was a good guess. I thought a good guess. Where did you play your hockey?
I played out in Calgary, but you know what? I actually did some Edmonton kids hockey camps when I was a kid. Okay. So I played in Calgary, but I also did kids camps in Edmonton with the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So well, that might have been tough if you had Calgary, Edmonton, and you're mingling. I don't know.
Well, my mom's side is from Edmonton, and I was born in Calgary, so that's why I decided Red Deer. Right in the middle.
So you're like Switzerland. You're neutral.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. This is Bryce Hampton. He grounded out to short back in the second inning. 2-0 Gulls lead it. They've got a base runner over at second. Morgan Emery is my guest here, and she is full of surprises as far as what it is that she does. If you listened at the beginning, the resume is lengthy and it's varied. And that's going to drop in as Bryce Hampton, a little floater out to right field. And that'll score Simon Baker. Run number 3 for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And an RBI for Bryce Hampton. Now, you mentioned you had some learning disabilities. Are you okay talking about what it was that you had to overcome in order to get where you are?
Absolutely. So for some people, you know, if you break your leg, then, you know, everybody sees that and might put their hand out to, you know, help you up the stairs, whatever it is. When you have a learning disability, nobody sees that. So I have ADHD, I have dyslexia, and I have a recall disorder. So you could tell me something and it goes in the noggin. Where in the noggin, I don't know. So being able to remember things doesn't necessarily come too easy. And for me, if you imagine reading, if you've read The Green Grass Had a White Baseball, you've just pictured that. I don't do that. So learning from reading wasn't something I could do. Wow. Dyslexia was a hindrance with math. So for me, it was a very, everything I did, if I put in 110%, I didn't have a summer off until I was in grade 12 because I was doing summer school, trying to keep myself caught up so I wasn't held back a grade. Just to overcome those challenges, because I was told I couldn't, and I would be damned if I didn't. I just decided that I was going to continue to push. I stepped away from sports, I stepped away from dance to focus on academics. Determined would be a bit of an understatement, and I say that humbly. But for me, it was where are my priorities and what doors do I want to have open. And you know what, just because those were things that were part of who I was, they're disabilities, but they're an advantage. Now I'm able, the tools that I have when I'm stepping into workplace are indefinite, really, because I've had to go through those struggles. I've had to communicate with adults from like young age. I had to, ask for what I needed, be persistent in the classroom of, I don't understand this, can you help me? And not taking no for an answer, having to ask adults the same question 6 different ways, try and find that answer.
Okay.
For me, no was not an answer, and quitting or giving up wasn't an answer either. So
I can see that you are a driven person. I can definitely pick up on that. So I think you probably want to watch some baseball, and you've got to mingle out there with some of the people and talk to them about. If you have a final word, a message to anybody out there listening that might be facing something that you faced, or they're facing as well, maybe. Oh, wait, Sully's got a gift for you, I think.
Oh, we have a pony here. Thank you, Sully. Thank you.
Sully, you are such a gentleman. You are so good at what you do.
Oh,
so
we love Sully
a message for anybody that's listening that maybe has gone through the path that maybe a similar path that you followed.
Well, it's truly for any struggle, and my words are: you decide. You decide what you're capable of, and when you're gonna quit, when you're gonna give up, when you decide to walk away when you've had enough. But if you don't give up and you decide that you can do it, then you can do anything you put your mind to. So you believe in you, I believe in you, and Persistence Haven is a place to be recognized for all those hard things.
There we go. Okay, well, thank you very much, Morgan Emery. We'll let you go back and watch some baseball now and talk to some people. Much appreciated. Keep up the good work. I don't know what part of it that I think you should focus on, but you've got a lot of irons in the fire. But that's awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us, and hopefully somebody gets the message. If it helps one person, you've done your job, right?
That's all that matters.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Morgan Emery, folks, if you run into her, she's got quite the story. And we're back to the baseball now here. Thanks very much, Morgan. I'll shut that off for you. You can get your cowboy hat back on. Thank you. Here we are, Gulls with a 3-0 lead, and the Brooks Bombers now have a base runner over at first. As I really enjoyed that conversation. Thank you so much, Morgan. You have a great rest of the night. That is one driven individual, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot believe, when I looked at that resume, I think, holy smokes, who is this? And a throw down to first by Junior Garcia as Derry Stewart Couture lets things off here in the top of the 5th with a single. Well, not a single. I guess they're going to give an error to third baseman Jaden Flores, which is very odd because that doesn't happen very often. Jaden Flores is pretty solid over there, but even the best can make a mistake every so often, and that's what we saw there to allow Couture to get over to first. This is Tyler Dorn, the shortstop. He squares to bunt, and that misses, or that's the called strike, I should say. 1-2 the count with nobody out. A little action in the bullpen for the Sylvan Lake Gulls as Josh Tucker is running into a little bit of difficulty, but not much. He's only had 63 pitches. He's given up 4 hits, but hasn't given up a run yet. His offense has been helping him in a timely fashion. Gulls with 2 runs in the first inning and then 1 last inning. And a swing and a miss and a strikeout. I think that's number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's number 6 for Josh Tucker here in a few innings of work. 4 1/3. That will bring us to the top of the order. The leadoff hitter, Ben Fischel. As Josh Tucker trying to get things back under control here with a base runner over at first. That's fouled out of play. You know, when I look at this resume of the young lady Morgan Emery, holy smokes. I mean, that is just impressive. And when you put your mind to doing something, and she obviously has put her mind to overcome her learning disabilities, which is absolutely huge. If you can do that, you can pretty much do anything, and she's a perfect example of that issue right there. And good on her. And working with horses, I've always asked my wife, we should get a horse. Just, we live in the city, right? We have a backyard, not a pasture. I said, yeah, but, maybe not a big horse, maybe a little horse, like the one Sully brought in. Yeah, maybe not. 0-2 the count on Fischel. And he sends this out into deep right center. And that is going to land off the wall. And a run is going to score on that. As Kyle Lewis couldn't track that one down. That was a well-hit ball by Ben Fischel. So he's got himself an RBI. The first one of the night for the Brooks Bombers, as Gary Steyer Couture scores all the way from first on that. Cuts the lead to the Gulls, 3-1, as you see the replay there. Thank you, Hearthstone Property Management, on that replay. So Peyton Matthews, who struck out and flew out to center or to right field. That was the play that Simon Baker made up against the wall. And Tucker comes in tight with that pitch for a ball. One down here in the top half of the fifth inning. 3-1 Gulls lead it. And that's some action in the bullpen for the Sylvan Lake Gulls as Josh Golich is getting in some work here, getting ready to come in for the starter, Josh Tucker, who still has some pitches left in him. 6 strikeouts on the evening for Tucker. 1 run on 5 hits. He's kind of spread things around here. That's grounded foul. Good catch by the first base coach. Showed everybody, hey, this is how I do it. Points to his players. See? Even without a glove, I can make that play. The count 2-2 on Peyton Matthews, the center fielder. That misses outside. Full count, base runner over at second in Ben Fischel, who has the RBI for the only run of the game for the Bombers tonight at this point. But they're threatening to add to that total. As Tucker feeds him a pitch, and Junior Garcia comes out from behind the plate, makes the grab for the second out of the inning. As here we see on the Hearthstone Property Management replay, Junior made sure that mask was nowhere near where he was standing. Had lots of room up against the screen and makes the grab, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Christian Altamirano. Here we are, a wild, wild west night out here in the wild, wild west. And Matt Hape is going to have a calm conversation, not a wild conversation, as Josh Tucker is just kind of cool and hanging back there. Little glove tap between him and Junior Garcia. And I'm not sure if he's pleading his case, whether he wants to stay in for one more batter. I mean, he does have a left-hander in the batter's box. So I think he's probably going to stay in. There's a little more conversation with his teammates. And that'll be the end of it as Ron Shuchuk decides that's enough. We're all good. As Ron makes his way back behind the plate. 2 down here in the top half of the fifth inning. Runner over at second is Ben Fischel. And Christian Altamirano is the man stepping in to face Josh Tucker. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is probably the last batter that Josh is going to face tonight. So he's probably dead set. That probably the message was, okay, all your focus on this guy right now, and you can have the rest of the night off. 0-1 now on Altamirano, who's been on base twice now with a pair of singles. So this is not an easy out by any stretch of the imagination. I still can't get over Morgan Emery and her resume. Holy smokes. There's so many talented people out there and so many driven people out there that maybe don't get the recognition that they deserve. And they're not doing it for recognition. They're doing it specifically to help people out. And that's what she's doing with her stuff. I mean, this business with the equine therapy and horses, I mean, she's right. They're big animals. And you get close to them and you're thinking, how can this be so gentle? But they are, or they can be. 2-1 the count. And an off-speed pitch there by Josh Tucker is a called strike to even the count at 2-2. 2 down, 2 balls, 2 strikes, a 2-run lead for the Sylvan Lake Gulls as Tucker's trying to get out of this inning as he's getting the signals from Junior Garcia. They're taking their time here for this one. That was a long, long wait. And that's fouled out of play. The count remains 2-2. And the slow clap is underway as they're encouraging the Gulls pitcher Josh Tucker to get him out. Strikeout number 7. Is it in the offing? We're going to find out as the clap dissipates. And a foul ball as Altamirano and Tucker are having a battle here. I think that's 4 foul balls right now. The clouds are kind of rolling in, but I don't know that we're going to see any moisture out of them at this time. Maybe in about an hour's time. And the clap starts again. And another foul ball as neither Tucker or Altamirano are willing to give in at any point here at this at bat. Base runner Ben Fischel still over at second. He's responsible for the RBI. That got the Bombers on the board. And another foul ball. That's 6 by my count. So he's doing the job for his team, and Josh Tucker is doing the job for his team. So the immovable object and the irresistible force, something's got to give. We're going to find out in this at bat who's the winner on this one, in this little battle within the battle of the baseball game itself. The 2-2 pitch from Josh Tucker on the way, and that hits on the ground for a ball. And Fischel will move over to third base now. As Tucker heads back to the rubber. A full count now on Altamirano. Fischel over at third now. The Bombers giving the Sylvan Lake Gulls everything that they can muster. They did it last night and they're doing it again tonight. And that's fouled again. That's 7 now. So a 12 pitch at bat for Christian Altamirano. Full count. And Altamirano wins the battle of wills there as he draws the walk after a 13-pitch at bat against Josh Tucker, who's now up to 85 pitches. And that might be it, as Matt Hape is making the walk out to pitcher's mound. And Josh Tucker, he knows his night is over, and he leaves with a 3-1 lead and 6 strikeouts to his name. So a good job tonight by number 30, the man who set a record for strikeouts in the WCBL. And he's going to get the congratulations from his teammates as he makes the walk to the dugout. And Josh Dolich will come in to pitch for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. We'll take a break and be back with the rest of the fifth. Welcome back. Top of the fifth inning, 2 down. The Sylvan Lake Gulls have made a pitching change. Josh Tucker, the starter, goes 4 2/3, gives up 1 run, 5 hits, and 6 strikeouts. He'll be replaced by number 31 there from Springs, Texas, Josh Dolich. He starts things off here facing C.J. Snowden, who was struck out and had a single back in the 4th inning. The Bombers with runners on 1st and 3rd with 2 out here, and they are trailing 3-1. And that's grounded foul down the 3rd baseline. Evens the count at 1-1. Once again, my thanks to Morgan Emery, Miss Queen Alberta in 2024. Yeah. She is a very, very good representative for the province of Alberta and also for her culture, the Métis culture and Métis heritage. So 2-1 count on Snowden, and he drives another one foul, just about picks off his teammate over at 3rd there in Ben Fischel. He had to do a quick 2-step over there down the 3rd baseline as that arrived on his doorstep in a hurry. They count down 2-2 as Dolich trying to get the Gulls out of this inning and back hitting the ball. And he does with a off-speed pitch and a strikeout for out number 3. And that brings the inning to a close. Gulls with a 3-1 lead as they head to the bottom of the 5th. They're coming to bat. Well, there you go. The Brooks Bombers have fought themselves back into this game. And there's your starter, Brian Walters, still in the game. And he's getting the encouragement from third baseman Seth Recker. Leading things off, Kyle Lewis, who flew out to left field in the second inning and is only at bat. And that is inside and tight for a ball one. Kyle Lewis, another one of the Texas boys on the Sylvan Lake Gulls team. And as I mentioned earlier, everything's good back at home, given all the flooding that's going on. And that is going to be out of play over the back screen as Liam Kirsch came over for a look, but it was not going anywhere. One and one the count on Kyle Lewis. Top of the order, Tai Yukamoto is on deck. As that misses low for a ball. And a foul tip there, hung on to by Kirsch. The count remains 2-2. That misses down low. Good pitch there by Walters. The count now full. Kyle Lewis leading things off here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Gulls with a 3-1 lead over Brooks. And Kyle Lewis puts a charge in this one, but way foul.
Our foul balls are brought to you by Clearview Glass.
Needs to straighten that one out. Nope, he's not even going to get a chance. He has a strikeout there from Brian Walters. That's his third on the night. Good pitches. The bottom just drops out of that one. That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Tai Yukamoto. Brian Walters has settled down after that 2-run first inning. He's only given up one since then. And Yukamoto grounded to short and popped up to the third baseman. And he grounds this foul down the first base line. Jaden Flores is the batter on deck. And this time Yukamoto fouls it over to the left side of the diamond. And another foul ball, this time to the right side. So he's, equal opportunity foul ball hitter. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. The count 0-2 on Yukamoto. And he was going to swing at that one and thought better of it, and that worked out in his favor. The count 1-2 now. This guy Brian Walters doesn't usually, from what we've seen, dial it up very much. He's more on the off speed, but he gets Yukamoto looking at a 90-mile-an-hour fastball for the second out here. And that'll bring up Jaden Flores. That was one of the weak points, I believe, in my opinion, of the Brooks Bombers over the last couple of years is their starting pitching, is that they would get behind too much. And even though they had some offense, they couldn't quite catch up because their pitching just wasn't strong enough and couldn't hold the lead or couldn't keep the other team from scoring and making it a runaway. But they have definitely improved on the pitching side of things, and they've always had some offense. Guys that can hit the ball, and they've played very good defense. So the Gulls are challenged by this team right now. They do have a 3-1 lead, but it hasn't been easy as this is grounded down to third. And Seth Rector with the throw across the diamond. for the third out. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Gulls. And we are going to the top of the 6th inning. 3-1 Sylvan Lake. Brooks coming to bat. Welcome back to Gulls Field up at Gattle Park. Jim Claggett here on FloCollege. Thanks for joining us. We are in the top half of the 6th inning. The catcher, Liam Kirsch, will lead things off here. He'll face Josh Dolich, who took over from the starter, Josh Tucker. I think we're all out of Joshes right now. Tucker with 4 2/3 innings. And Dolich came in and finished things off in that 5th inning, striking out C.J. Snowden. He'll face Liam Kirsch, Seth Rector, and Lucas Rick. The 5, 6, and 7 batters in the Bombers lineup. 2-0 the count. That's grounded down to Jaden Flores over at third. And he shows off that strong arm. Just a smooth throw by Jaden Flores over to first base. Look at that. Nice pickup. Boom. A strike. I'm sure Bryce Turner appreciates that too. He doesn't have to work for it. There you go. Good job by Jaden Flores there to get the first out. That'll bring up Seth Rector, who flew out the left and then reached base on a fielder's choice back in the 4th. He fouls that out of play. So I was hoping my partner, Cale Clark, would be here because I had a good, well, it's relatively good dad joke for him, but it'll just have to wait, I guess. Or I could just tell it. It's a very short one. Maybe the guys in the truck will get a chuckle out of this, and Martin on the camera. 1-1 on Seth Rector. Dolich missing inside. So the question is, what do you call a dog that floats? Good boy. I can hear the groans. Even though I can't, I can hear them. And a foul ball there. That woke up the people in the front row there. That made some pretty good noise there. 2-2 the count on Rector. With one down here in the 6th inning, 5 hits for the Bombers and 1 run, 5 hits for the Gulls and 3 runs. Dolich missing outside with that one. Down low. Gulls bullpen is quiet. Bombers bullpen, well, they're playing with the football, so looks like Brian Walters is still going to see action in the 6th inning. That's right back to the mound as Dolich makes the glove play, makes it look easy, and flips it over to Turner for the first out. Yeah, going down on the ground is one thing. Trying to go over Josh Dolich's head. I think he's 6'6". You weren't going to get it over him, so you just had to try and get it by him. So Lucas Rick, the designated hitter, one of Josh Tucker's strikeout victims. And he just off the fists and to the shortstop, Yukamoto. And a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. 5.5 innings in the books, and the Gulls coming to bat. Well, Brian Walters in for inning number 6. He's only at 68 pitches. So no wonder there. He's still got a little bit of life left in that arm, I'm sure. He'll face Brock Tiarina, Bryce Turner, and Junior Garcia here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. First pitch to Garcia is a called strike. And Tiarina sends this out to left field. And C.J. Snowden, who's had a busy night, that's 1, 2, 3. That's the 4th putout for him out in left field tonight. Some nights you don't see a thing, and then other nights they're coming your way. Bryce Turner, the first baseman, steps in now to face Brian Walters. And first pitch there, taking all the way, is a called strike. And that misses down low for ball 1. One the count on Turner. That's a called strike, 1 and 2 now. The 1-2 pitch from Walters, and that's fouled out of play as Turner stays alive. The catcher, Junior Garcia, is on deck. The 3, 4, 5 hitters, the meat of the order for the Gulls tonight. And that misses. Even count at 2-2 now for Brian Walters. And that misses inside. The count now full. Good at bat for Bryce Turner as he's come back from the 1-2 count to make it full. And he'll draw the walk. Oh no. I was a little premature in that one, as that is a called strike by home plate umpire Ron Shuchuk. Well, that was close. And it's close enough to look at. So a strikeout there. And that'll bring up the catcher, Junior Garcia, who's 0 for 2 on the night. A ground out and a strikeout. And he puts a charge into this one into deep center field. And the center fielder, Peyton Matthews, had to really hustle to get to that one. And he does. He loses his sunglasses in the process. Did he just throw the ball over the fence? I think he did. Yeah, he did. So third out, no runs, no hits, nobody left on base. 6 innings complete. Gulls with a 3-1 lead. Brooks coming to bat. Josh Dolich on the mound as he'll face the 8, 9, and 1 batters for the Brooks Bombers. That's Derry Steyert Couture, Tyler Dorn, and the top of the order, Ben Fischel. As he carries a 3-1 lead here into the top half of the 7th inning, and he starts Couture off with a strike. Couture got struck out looking and then had a single and came around and scored. The only run for the Bombers at this point in time. Dolich quickly up 0-2. And right back to the mound, and that 6'6" frame came in handy as he needed most of it to get his glove on that one. A little awkward. Not the smoothest play, but guess what? He got it up there, knocked it down, kept it in front of him, and calmly flipped it over to first base for the first out. That's not exactly how you draw it up, but guess what? The end result is the end result. This will be the shortstop, Tyler Dorn, who has struck out and popped up to the fellow shortstop, Tai Yukamoto. And Dolich feeling it right now as he gets Dorn swinging on that one. And he's 0 for 2, so As the boys that did the play-by-play and the color last night, Kai Rimple and Mickey McClaskey, would say he's getting that 0-2 count, getting in front of the batters right away. And that's a good sign. And that misses outside for ball one. Tyler Dorn at the plate. The leadoff man, Ben Fischel, is waiting on deck. 2-2 the count now on Dorn. As we are in the top half of the 7th inning, Sylvan Lake with a 3-1 lead. And a strikeout swinging for Tyler Dorn and for Josh Dolich. As that just drops down out of nowhere. Dolich takes a little walk around the mound, saying, okay, that worked. Now he's got to face the leadoff hitter, Ben Fischel, who hit a rocket of a single, and that drove in the only run of the game for the Bombers at this point. That was back in the 5th inning. And he lays down a perfect bunt. Dolich off the mound, and what a play by Josh Dolich. Oh my goodness. And he gets the reaction as Tyler Boudreau's the first guy out of the dugout to say, okay, pitcher, you can field, can you not? Yes, you can. A great play by Josh Dolich coming off the mound. Let's look at this as the Hearthstone Property Management replay. Oh, that was the replay. I was busy watching the field and seeing what he was doing on the field there. So there's his teammates giving him the congratulations. A 3-up, 3-down inning. Gulls coming to bat in the bottom of the 7th. Well, Brian Walters has come out for the start of the 7th inning. And he's had 78 pitches as far as the count goes. So he'll face Simon Baker, Bryce Hampton, and Aiden Macaris. And Baker greets him with a first pitch swing. And he's going to look for second base, and this man can run. Look at the wheels on this gentleman. Holy smokes. That is some impressive base running by Simon Baker. What? Like he's like a gazelle. Look at the stretch and boom, 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 and he covers all that ground, stays on the bag. A leadoff double for the Sylvan Lake Gulls as they are looking to add to that 3-1 lead. And 2 runs in this league is not much to make up anymore. And this will bring up the second baseman, Bryce Hampton. Hampton's 1 for 2. He knocked in a run back in the 4th inning. And he tries to lay down a bunt as the Gulls are playing for that extra run right now. And every run counts, and every run is appreciated by the pitchers. Right now, Josh Dolich. But there is a couple of guys warming up, or 3 guys that I could see warming up in the Gulls bullpen. So, sorry guys, the Gulls bullpen. And then of course they're out of camera, so you can't see them. Trust me, folks, there's 3 other guys warming up, or loosening up, or they're just chatting. And that was high and tight, and Hampton got his bat on it. That wasn't. There wasn't a very high percentage chance that was going to land fair. I'm surprised that Bryce Hampton even got the bat on it. He's down 0-2 now, with Simon Baker with the leadoff double over at second. So the bunt is off, and the pitch misses outside. 1-2 the count. The 1-2 pitch, and that is down the right field line, and it is curving foul. That would have easily scored Simon Baker from second. Hampton steps back in the box to face Brian Walters. The 1-2 pitch on the way. And he grounds this down to second. So it does the job of the bunt by moving Simon Baker over to third, as Steyr Couture makes the play over to first for the first out of the game, or the inning. So opposite field, that's, right side of the diamond, that moves your base runner over. So good bat control by Bryce Hampton. That'll bring up the left fielder, Aiden Macaris, who can put a charge in the ball when he gets the right pitch. And he takes a good cut at that one. Looking for the fastball, got the off-speed pitch. And Brian Walters figures, well, if it worked once, let's try it again. So he's ahead 0-2. Gulls would like to cash in this run. That misses down low. A 3-1 lead here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Brooks Bombers and the Sylvan Lake Gulls battling for the second straight night. And Macaris is going to drop this down into center field, and the throw on its way to home plate, and not in time, as Aiden Macaris gets himself a sacrifice fly and an RBI. That was a good throw by Peyton Matthews, but it was just a little too deep, and he couldn't get Simon Baker. So run number 4 for the Gulls, and that'll bring up Kyle Lewis with the bases empty. And he, first pitch swinging, he skies this out to right field, and Ben Fischel settles underneath it, puts the ball away, but not before the Gulls add one more. Little insurance there. 4-1 lead, Sylvan Lake after 7. Brooks coming to bat. welcome back to Gulls Field at Pegattle Park. Jim Claggett here on FloCollege. Brooks and Sylvan Lake aren't the only game tonight. 4-1 Gulls, by the way, right now. But up in Fort McMurray, top of the 8th inning, the Giants with a 1-0 lead over the Okotoks Dogs. In Medicine Hat, they are in the bottom of the 6th. Mavericks with a 4-1 lead over the Swift Current 57s. Top of the 6th inning in Lethbridge, it's the Energy City Cactus Rats ahead of the Bulls by a score of 4-3. And top of the 6th down in Weyburn, the Saskatoon Berries have doubled up on the Weyburn Beavers here in the top of the 6th inning. So there you go. You're up to date as far as scores in around the WCBL tonight on a beautiful Friday night here in central Alberta. And Josh Dolich on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls as he starts the 7th inning with facing Peyton Matthews, and he's quickly up 0-2. So it'll be Peyton Matthews, Christian Altamirano, and CJ Snowden. 1-2 the count now on Matthews, the center fielder who made that play out in center earlier in the day. He tracked that ball down in center field after it was well hit. That was Junior Garcia who nailed one. 2-2 the count now on Matthews. And a strikeout for Josh Dolich. That is his, I'm going to say his 3rd, yes. He ended the 5th inning with a strikeout, and he's got 2 prior to that. So good pitch there by the young man from Springs, Texas. 6'6". A power forward for a basketball team. Christian Altamirano steps in now to face Dolich. And he starts him off with an 85-mile-an-hour pitch for a strike. Swinging. That misses high and outside. 1-1 the count now. Top of the 8th inning here at Gulls Field. 4-1 Sylvan Lake looking to take 2 straight here from the Brooks Bombers. That misses down low. CJ Snowden is the on-deck hitter for Brooks. Snowden, the left fielder, very busy left fielder. He's had 4 plays out there. And falling behind is Dolich. 3-1 count now on Altamirano. And he catches that outside corner, gets the call, makes the count full. Nobody on base. 1 down, top of the 8th inning. 4-1 Gulls lead it. The payoff pitch and back-to-back strikeouts for Josh Dolich. That's 10 strikeouts on the night between Josh Tucker and Josh Dolich. So they're still short by 9 from last night's total. He's still got a lot of room on that fence. Not like last night where I was waiting to see where he was going to put number 20. And CJ Snowden and Josh Dolich. Okay, if you missed it the first time, here you go, folks. Here's the replay, almost identical, the same play. as C.J. Snowden tries to lay down a bunt, but Josh Golich off the mound like a cat as he strikes out two of the three batters and then throws the last guy out. Gulls coming to bat. We are back. Brian Walters at 89 pitches on the count, and he is out here to start the 8th inning. He'll have the top of the order, Tai Yukamoto, then Jaden Flores and Brock Tiarina to deal with here in the 8th inning, trailing 4-1. And first pitch to Yukamoto is a called strike. So we got a few guys warming up in the bullpen of the Bombers. And we got one guy warming up in the bullpen of the Gulls. So there's the Bomber bullpen. And Yukamoto takes a mighty cut at that one. They count 1-2 now. And a foul tip hung on to by Liam Kirsch. And Brian Walters sits down Tai Yukamoto for the first out of the inning. And good catch there and he shows the umpire Ron Shuchuk, hey, I got it. That'll bring up Jaden Flores. Jaden had a single back in the first and then grounded out to the third baseman in the fifth. And he tries to lay down a bunt, and that just goes foul. There's been an awful lot of bunting between these two teams in the last two games. And the Bombers have tried to bunt twice so far in the last two innings, and Josh Dolich just off the mound like a cat, and then makes a perfect throw over to first on not one but two almost identical plays. And I think both of those, if I'm not mistaken, both of those ended the inning. So there you go. Timely for sure, and just shows the physical and the athletic ability of these players. And like I say, he's 6'6". Two and one the count on Jaden Flores, another young man from Texas who, when I asked him, he said, yep, no, everything's good back home. No issues. And that hits Jaden Flores. And he will take the walk down to first base as he makes the slow jog. And that'll bring up Brock Tiarina. Here's the replay on that one. And he didn't really try to get that left arm out of there with the pad on it. I mean, yeah, I'm sure he tried, but he might have thought, hey, you know what? I'll take one for the team. I tell you, if I didn't have that pad on, that elbow would be out of there real quick. Throw over to first by Walters. He's closing in on 100 pitches, 98 right now. Brock Tiarina steps in, the designated hitter tonight. 1 for 2 on the evening, and Flores takes off for second, and fouled back by Tiarina. Jaden Flores has to head back to first base after making the run down to second. I always wonder if the batter knows if the runner's going, if the play is on, whether he's trying to hit and run or he's just trying to protect the player by swinging at that, and then they foul it off. And the guy's got to reset himself and get prepared. And there he goes again. And this one's hit into the gap in left center, and that's going to go for a base hit and a run scored here as Jaden Flores scores all the way from first on that perfectly executed hit and run by the Sylvan Lake Gulls as Brock Tiarina drives in the run. Number 5 for Sylvan Lake. And he goes to second on the throw. But I'm going to give him a double anyways because I can. I'm not the official scorer, so I could say, no, he would have had a double anyway. And that will be the end of the evening, I think, for Brian Walters, who did a fine job there. 100 pitches on the nose. And his teammates are congratulating him and saying, thanks for your effort. But we'll have a new pitcher as he waits for the new guy to come out there. That's kind of cool. So that's the end of the night for Brian Walters. And his teammates give him the hugs, give him the high fives, give him the handshake, whatever.
Little more.
And they congratulate him on a fine effort. 1 run, or 5 runs, I should say, on 7 hits. A 100 pitch night. And I think he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts on the evening. So all around a good play there by the young man. So we'll take a break as we get the new pitcher warmed up, and we'll be back with the rest of the 8th inning. Well, new Turner. I looked at Bryce Turner coming up the bat. Oh, Jim, it's later than you think. Derek Hughes is the pitcher for the Brox. Oh my goodness. Okay, 21. I got that right. Derek Hughes, Brooks Bombers. He's the new pitcher. Okay. And he's facing Bryce Turner. I got it now. Stay with me, folks. He takes over from Brian Walters, who went 7 1/3. And this is sky high in foul territory. And that's going to land as Christian Altamirano he did almost a 360. As he started towards the dugout, here's the Hearthstone Property Management replay, and he just, now I got to make a left turn. Yeah. And that's a tough sky to try to track that ball down. And it's spinning, and it's moving away from you, and there's all sorts of things that come into play. So Bryce Turner gets another shot with Brock Tiarina over at second. 1 down, 5-1 Gulls lead it here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And a nice pitch there from Hughes as he blows that past Turner at 92. Junior Garcia is the batter on deck for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. The 1-2 pitch. And a check swing, but they're going to check down to first. And he did not go, and that went off the hand of the catcher, Liam Kirsch, I should say. And that allows Tiarina to make his way over to third. Yeah, he's checking that right hand out. So not a foul ball. So that ball was still live. Now the infield comes in to try and cut the runoff at home plate. And Tiarina has to scoot back to third as Turner chops it down in his direction. So 2-2 count on Bryce Turner with a runner over at third. And that misses outside. The count now full. The Gulls with a 5-1 lead. 2 runs in the first, 1 in the fourth, and then 1 each in the 7th and here in the 8th. And that misses outside. So Turner takes a walk, puts runners on the corner for Junior Garcia, who is 0 for 3 on the night. With a fly ball out to center, a strikeout, and a ground out to shortstop. If I had a hat, I would be taking it off right now because Johnny Cash is being played here in the stadium, and Johnny Cash, legend, same initials as me. You just salute the guy because he's one of the best, one of the most recognizable voices in country music. Here on Wild Wild West Night. And last night, let's put it this way, folks, last night was a lot more wilder than this one is tonight. 0-1 the count on Junior Garcia. That misses outside. Not sure if Bryce Turner has ideas of stealing second base or just allow Junior Garcia to swing the bat, and he doesn't have much of a lead over there, so he might go and maybe draw the throw, but Junior Garcia sends this deep to left field. This is probably going to score a run as Snowden makes the grab, and a strong throw, but it was deep enough to score run number 6 for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. So RBI number 2 for Junior Garcia, but he hasn't had a base hit yet. As he is 0 for 4, but he's got 2 RBIs on sacrifices. Well, that's the way to do it. If you're going to be productive in one way or the other. Simon Baker steps in. He's 2 for 3 with a couple of runs scored and a couple of base hits, both doubles. The second one was the most impressive one. He powered that one out into left field and just kept going around first base. He had no idea of stopping at first. He was headed for second, no problem. And that's a called strike there on Baker. 1-1 the count now on the Gulls right fielder, who made an outstanding grab up against the wall earlier in the game. And a pitch inside along the black by Hughes. One and two the count now with 2 down. Bottom of the 8th inning. The count even now at 2-2. Two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. A 6-1 lead for the Gulls here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the count now full on Simon Baker from Cochrane, Alberta. And there goes Turner, and there goes Baker as he strikes out Derek Hughes with the strikeout for the Brooks Bombers. I want to say the Bronx Bombers. That's what's throwing me. Anyway, 2 runs on a few base hits, and the Gulls with a 6-1 lead as we head to the top of the 9th inning. Josh Dolich on the mound for inning number 9 here at Gulls Field. He's going to close this off unless he runs into any trouble. But he seems to be pretty much in control as he'll face Liam Kirsch, Seth Rector, and Lucas Rick. And first pitch, as I said, he seems to be in control. He fires it over top of the head of the catcher, Liam Kirsch. Okay. So much for that. Somebody just stole my microphone. Actually, it's their microphone. I should have brought it back. I usually do. And this is sent out to center field, and Kyle Lewis will make the grab as he backpedals and gets the first out of the inning for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. He's kind of working on his right ankle there. He's maybe twisted that a little bit. Not enough to take him out of the game. Of course, Rob Manka's in his place over at the end of the bench, and he's keeping a close eye on Kyle Lewis, going, hey, do I have to run all the way out to center field? It's the furthest point. Well, actually, right field is probably the furthest point away for him. And a good pitch there by Josh Dolich, who has 1, 2, 3, 4 strikeouts to his credit in the 3+ innings that he's worked. And this is popped up, and Junior Garcia comes close to the screen, but that's well out of play. 0-2 the count, though, and as been the case most of the night tonight for Josh Tucker and Josh Dolich, is they've been ahead of the batters. And the pitchers will tell you that's such a good feeling, because that opens up a whole wide array of options for them to throw. The 0-2 pitch, and that misses up high. As Seth Rector wasn't teased into swinging at that one. And this time Dolich bounces this one down in the dirt. So the count even at 2-2 with one down here in the 9th inning. Sylvan Lake with a 6-1 lead over the Brooks Bombers. And the moisture has held off. I like that. Ooh. And Dolich missing on that pitch. Didn't. So now the count now full after being up 0-2. Rector has worked it to a full count. Trying to get something going for the Bombers. And that's fouled out of play. I know one thing he's not going to do. He's not going to lay down a bunt, because Josh Dolich has shown that, yeah. First time, okay, maybe that was lucky. Second time, I know what I'm doing. He came off the mound and made 2 outstanding plays. And this time he walks the third baseman, Rector, to put a base runner on for the designated hitter, Lucas Rick. Rick is 0 for 3 on the night. So with one down here in the top of the 9th, Josh Dolich, I think this is his baby, as he's got to work himself through the next 2 batters to seal the deal for the starter Josh Tucker. But they are sending, it looks like maybe Matt McKenzie. Anyway, somebody's going down to the bullpen just in case. And a great play there by Jaden Flores. They're going to turn a double play to end this game. Oh my goodness. Jaden Flores, Bryce Hampton turn an outstanding double play to bring this game to a close. And they help out their pitcher, Josh Dolich, in a big way. Just, I mean, let's see this replay, guys. Look at this play by Jaden Flores. Like, that is just off his knee, bullet, and a great catch over there by Bryce Turner. So all 3 infielders touch the ball on that one and make an outstanding play and bring the game to a close in a very special way. A 6-1 win for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, as Josh Dolich came in for Josh Tucker and sealed the game. And Jaden Flores has got that smile on his face like, yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. As he's getting the high fives from his teammates. And Josh Dolich just got the heads up that, he's our player of the game, as he's going to go over there and talk to Wally.
EG Auctions player of the game, this pitcher, number 31 from Spring, Texas, Josh Dolich. Josh, that was a great game. You came in about halfway through there, picked it up where Tuck left off. Just talk about the performance tonight.
Felt pretty good. Just try to get in the zone, let my defense work behind me.
You also, speaking of defense, you had a couple of great plays there off some of those short balls that came out to you, and then you got that rifle over to first. As a pitcher, you always got to be ready for something like that, but in your situation, just talk about the plays that we saw out there.
Yeah, tough play. Used to be a shortstop. Trying to get some PT out there if Coach Chatwood's listening. Yeah, tough play. Just kind of got a bare hand and get it out of there. 2 quick runners, good bunts. I mean, pretty good play.
You're from Texas. You're a Texas boy. There are a lot of similarities between Texas and Alberta, as we've come to know over the years. You're in Sylvan Lake, Alberta. What's your time here in Sylvan Lake been like?
It's been awesome. I love every second of it. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Happy to be here.
Well, we're grateful to have you here as part of the Gulls. Congratulations on the win tonight. Your player of the game for EG Auctions, Josh Dolich, here tonight. Great performance from.
Well, there you go, Josh Dolich doing what he does as former shortstop. I didn't realize that. So this is the start of the game. There's our friend Morgan Emery. She's an outstanding player too. So there you go. And the Gulls came out firing with 2 runs in that first inning, and then that great catch by Simon Baker. Almost an outstanding catch by Bryce Hampton. And then some interesting stuff over there. There's our guest, Morgan. Unbelievable, that resume that she's got. Snapman with a close race there. And Tai Yukamoto with another good play, a little fancy stuff. There's this play off the mound by Josh Dolich. Not only once, but he did it a second time. So the Gulls full march for their victory, a 5-1 win, or 6-1 win, I should say. Josh Tucker, Josh Dolich teaming up, and then a game-ending double play that was outstanding. 6-1 Gulls win it.